bitch feel like 007. Two all up tips in the pussy to end. Brown and black and we send it.
But on a super serious note, thank you for 100 subscribers. Rainbow Six Siege is a game I've had a love-hate relationship with. I've played this game since beta on and off, and holy shit has this game improved a lot. So in the interest of saving you some time, I'm going to talk about the history of this game very briefly and then move on to the game in its current state. Starting now. So the game was bad up until Operation Health, where the developers decided that people falling through the map and a bunch of cheaters in the game wasn't good for the game's health, so they dedicated an entire operation to the game, and the game became less ass, still ass, but less so. Now that we're done talking about the history of the game, we can talk about the game in its current state. This video will be broken up into chapters or parts, depending on what I'm talking about in that chapter or part. The timestamps on the screen right now, we'll be talking about first, game balance and fun. Second, the monetization avenues that the developers use to make money from this game. Third, toxicity, and then that'll be the end of the video with some closing remarks. So if you want to fast forward to any part of the video specifically, you can do it now. Starting off with game balance and fun. Now, I'll preface what I'm about to say by saying I haven't played Rainbow Six competitively since a couple seasons after Operation Health. I play it more casually now with some buddies, and we usually goof around. From what I can tell, the game is in a pretty good spot balance-wise. None of the operators feel completely worthless or too oppressive except for Warden. However, they keep making the worst character in the game worse, and it's kind of fucking annoying. The developers have also been working very hard to make the game on the attacking side more bearable, because usually what happens in these games is that you're attacking, you have so much time to set up your attack, get into position, and then launch a coordinated attack with presumably people you've never played with before. And by the time you all are ready, you have about 30 seconds left in the round, and you have to rush in and either kill everyone or plant the diffuser to buy yourself some more time. And the entire lobby turns into a Call of Duty lobby for about 30 seconds until the next round. However, from a fun perspective, this game is phenomenal. When I'm having fun in this game, it's probably one of my favorite games. Goofy shit can happen at any point in the game. Like you're playing the game, taking it super seriously, and then Peruvian Spider-Man breaks through the floor and tries to kill you. Or the entire game is super intense and you're trying your hardest and you barely win or you barely lose. To me, because I'm a competitive player and in most games, I think that that's fun. Now let's talk about the money. Holy shit, do these guys like money. Imagine this for a second. You paid for a game, and in that game, you have to pay for the characters. And there are also paid skins for those characters. And each of those characters, we'll call them operators. Each of those operators have a small selection of guns. So naturally, there are weapon skins in this game as well. Also, there are attachments that are sometimes specific to different guns, and those attachments have paid skins as well. You would normally think I was talking about an EA game, but no, this is Ubisoft. There's also a battle pass and loot boxes. I get it. It's an old game. They have to find ways to support the game and blah, 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 whatever. To the guy in my last video, in the comments of my last video, who said that I was a bit late for talking about Dying Light 2 a couple months after it came out, this game is 7 years old. I have a God of War video coming for you, just for you. My problem with the microtransactions aren't that they're low quality or there's so many of them. So it's not the quality or the quantity of them. It's the fact that if I'm playing a tactical shooter, which R6 is, and I want to be fully immersed in this game that pits the GIGN against the FBI, against Spetsnaz, against the CIA, right? I don't need Rick and Morty running around with a Thule shooting people in the head. What I'm trying to say is that in games like R6 and even Overwatch to a certain extent, there should be an option that I can turn on for myself, that I don't have to see other people's stupid ass skins in game. I've also seen some people complain that potentially really good or meta changing operators could be locked behind a paywall. But I don't think that Siege really has a problem with that, because at the end of the day, the gadgets on the operators, in my opinion, are just attachments to the person you're playing and the skill that you have, right? Meaning, if you shoot good, you can shoot good with Recruit. But I can definitely understand the criticisms that a supposedly competitive game has competitive aspects, sometimes major competitive aspects, locked behind a paywall. It somewhat defeats the legitimateness of a competitive system. Now let's talk about toxicity. Being toxic used to be one of my favorite pastimes. My two most played games are Overwatch and Dead by Daylight, so I breathe toxicity. However, the toxicity in Rainbow Six has actually gotten a lot better over the years. You can't just go into every game and team kill. Eventually, you'll be given reverse friendly fire, which essentially means that if you were to shoot your teammate in the chest, you would take that damage instead of your teammate taking that damage. That way you can keep the realistic aspect of shooting your teammates has a tangible effect on the game, and you can shield players from unwarranted toxicity. There's still some toxicity in VC and TC, but those aren't exclusive to Rainbow Six, so I'm not going to go over them in depth. And I personally don't think that the Rainbow Six community is one of the most toxic on the planet. That would have to be either Valorant, Overwatch, or CSGO. So R6 is a game I enjoy playing sometimes because it's fun-ish, but I will say to the developers that they have been doing a great job, and their hard work and dedication is not going unnoticed. However, if Finka gets nerfed one more time, I swear to fucking God, I will personally find where you guys live and break your fucking kneecaps.